So good afternoon, Ms. Briggs. So happy that it's Little Friday. The day before Friday is always an exciting day, anticipating the weekend, and for us, Easter break. So thank you so much for coming in for the post-conference. Just want to say in advance that it's really been a pleasure working with you. You've helped me to grow as an educator, and I hope that our coaching sessions have been helpful for you. So I just welcome you to this third round. And I just want to reflect on our observation yesterday and our focus area, which was different this time. You wanted me to focus on 2 students in your classroom that are in the exceptional needs program and find ways to better differentiate their instruction by observing how they reacted to your current structures in your classroom. So with that said, I want you to just tell me, how do you feel your lesson went yesterday? Can you explain that to me, please?
Yeah, with the first goal that we had in mind with the structure part of it, I think it's improved. Not that it's really, I would say, good, but from where I was, I think it definitely has improved, because I think the do now wasn't perfect. You know, the participation wasn't all there, but I think that's mainly because students have gotten into bad habits of doing that kind of off-task behavior, and so it's steadily getting better, I think.
Okay.
Which I think helps in the EC aspect of it, because they're not as distracted by all the other things going on. So I think especially with Zach, who is up and he's everywhere, and he wants to sing and participate, I think that helps him behave a little better, because I think I had more focus with everybody else from the structure, the first goal.
Wow, you're exactly right. I'm thrilled that you made that connection, that it really does have a lot to do with the structure. Even it doesn't matter what kid it is or what their special needs are, if they're a high flyer or not, it really doesn't matter. So thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad you made that connection. That's real important. I want you to talk a little bit about your self-reflection sheet and discuss that with me based upon the prompts that you had on your self-reflection sheet.
Okay. For number 1, with the assessment of pupils' achievement of the stated learning outcomes, I basically said achieved because the evidence of the outcomes at the very beginning, the blend and balance and the sound of the rehearsal was good.
Okay.
The vowels were pretty uniform, and we worked on that a lot. And participation, for the most part, with the beginning part of the rehearsal, was good.
Right.
You still have the certain people that have the bad habits, but overall it was good. Still needs to improve throughout the class, but especially with I think the do now and the warm up, it was just one of those days. I just kind of needed to get back on task.
Okay.
Which I think would have helped the other 2, the EC kids.
Okay.
So I put achieved, but for achieved, I put evidence of how it was achieved, and then I put a little bit of how it was not.
Okay.
And I put the habits, and it also takes a while to bring the students in to the new kind of structure. And I think that affects, like I said, the EC part of it as well.
Right. And sometimes it's good to look at what went well and what didn't go well. It's equally as important to reflect upon both areas. So I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, for 2, classroom management, I think I put interfered with the overall outcome, because students are still very tempted to talk to their neighbor, which is, that's kind of the nature of the class. You can't help it. There's still a lot of this tempted to be on phones and talking to neighbors, so it can always be better. And I think they need to kind of understand the norms a little better. I think maybe bring that back in, the norms a little more. Towards the end of rehearsal, they started to lose the focus again. So the very beginning and the very end was when, but have them for a good, middle part of the lesson, that was improvement.
Okay.
For number 3, which was really kind of our goal, met the needs of unique students, I put not accomplished, just because I think I myself need some more help with communicating ideas to the students who not only are EC, but the ones who are AIG, who are above.
Right.
Because I think with music, there's got to be ways to use analogies or use some sort of things that can help each learner because it's so diverse. But I think just how many things we've worked on, I think now that I'm moving my focus there, it'll probably get better. And then my last one was the teaching behavior focus, was the structure, and then the EC inclusion. And I thought it needed a little bit more work with the structuring of the lesson towards the different types of learners.
Nessa sekvenza